Welcome back to episode 2 of the Civil War vlog. In today's episode, we'll be discussing a quote from a man named Fredrick Douglas. He was an escaped slave, and he worked on an abolitionist, and did all these things with his life. But that's not what we're not going to be talking about his life today. No, we're going to be talking about what he said once. This quote is quite well known, and the quote is, "Any attempt to now separate the freedom of the slave from the victory of the government, any attempt to secure peace to the whites while leaving the blacks in chains will be a labor lost." To me, this quote means that that if the government tries to help the white people and not the slaves, all of the blood, sweat, and tears that went from the slaves into the war, all of the slaves and black people who were killed, it'll all be for nothing for them because they won't gain anything. Here's another tough question. Could the war have ended without freeing the slaves? I think the war could have ended without freeing slaves. Now, I'm not saying it should have, though. I'm just saying it probably couldn't. I think eventually, after a while, the slaves would eventually start to free themselves because they just be sick of all of these white people telling them what to do, and they just, come up with a riot and storm the towns, raid the businesses, just plunder and get really mad. But like I said in the last video, I don't think the Civil War was necessary. This kind of goes back to that. Now that I think about the outcome I just said about all of the slaves freeing themselves, I kind of think it would have turned out better with the war instead of this uprising. Because then you never know what might happen to America if that happens. Which makes me think to myself, is the Civil War necessary after all? In the last video, I said it would be many more years before black people would be treated equally in America. But in those same many more years, would they still be slaves if the war was never fought? I actually don't think they would be treated equally up until when Martin Luther King and all of that stuff came in, if they were still slaves, because Martin Luther King would have just been a slave just like the rest of them, and he couldn't really do anything. He couldn't really be able to do anything about that if he was a slave at the time of his time. Basically, if the slaves weren't free, that never would have happened, or would happen. So slavery being abolished was the big first step into equality in America. And although there's still a lot of crazy stuff out there with colored people and white people, it's getting somewhere, sort of. So there you have it. That's my answer, and thank you for watching my video. If you don't agree with me or you have something you want to say, just say it in the comments below. If you like this video, like the like button, because that's what you should do. It's good. And I will see you in the next episode. Yeah, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Okay. Peace out.